Wagwan, everyone. I hope you're doing well. And welcome back to another stream, another video, another Premier League preview up on Tereak Talks. Guys, I've missed you again. It feels like a while. I love doing these streams so much, people. I've been looking forward to this, looking forward to getting into the comments, the predictions. Whew, we got to get back on those. We have to. It's been a while, people, because, you know, the international break and all of that. But let me run through a few of the comments first. Actually, let me introduce my partner in crime. You know who he is in the comments. He's right here. It's Ed Min. How you doing, my bro?
Not too bad, T. TTF.
TTF. Yeah, you see he's giving you the hello there. So, bro, how's your international break?
I'm glad it's over. Glad it's over. I never thought a 10-0 would be so dull, but it was. The stream was good. Your stream was good.
Yeah.
But England is not Premier League, is it? Let's be honest.
Nah. Nowhere near Premier League. The stream is what made it for me. Like, other than that, I would never, nowhere near enjoyed that game. No. Even though Smith Rowe, Saka, both scoring. My boys right here. Look, RMBT's back again.
Connor Cody, captain England to that 10-0 as well.
I didn't even realise he was captain. That's how much attention I paid.
When Kane went off.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Look who's here first, by the way. Big up Know-How. Quite early. He was, I think I just about made the stream then. Look at Rich giving you the big up Know-How. You know how it goes. Yo, yes, Jay. Hope you're doing well. I've got to message you back on Snapchat, by the way. But guys, speaking of Snapchat, all my socials are in the description below. Go check that out. Early gang in the house. We've got CB, Wilf himself. Hope you're doing good. Get your predictions locked and loaded, people. Make sure you get them ready. Make sure you get them in your fingers typing away if you're a slow typer. But yeah, let me go through all of the comments first as you guys get warmed up, and we'll go through the fixtures. There is Ed right there. Munzi, yes, T. How's you, buddy? I'm good, man. I'm looking forward to the weekend. I'm looking forward to Premier League football back at it again. Arsenal, even though we've got a difficult game. We'll go into that in another stream. The stream later on after this. Check your snap, bro. Yeah, I will check it. I definitely will. Yes, T. Pimp settings today. You know how it is. Feel like Snoop Dogg.
I need one, I think that's
nah. Your bonding's always good, man. It is. Especially when I do the trims, in lockdown.
That's true. Lockdown trim.
Listen to the man. He's here, right here, telling you, get smashing the like button, people, and then getting the predictions in. Hey, looking good. We've got G Staffy in the house. Hello.
Yes,
Whoa, that's not how she usually says it. Hello. Ed, look at the excitement for Edmund right there. Young Ed in the house. Always young. Forever young. Ain't that right, Ed?
It's the baby face.
I know. If I can keep that, then I'll be happy. Hopefully, I'll be celebrating a United win this weekend. You should be. We'll wait and see. Big up Tereak and Ed. And what was T saying? Love how coordinated you are. Oh, yeah.
It means you, not me.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it. She's got on to work on that, she said. She's still working on that. But that's it. Oh, Tisha's in early for that prediction. Well, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But let me bring up the screen right now. We've done all the introductions. 5 minutes in. 5 minutes of waffle. First game of the weekend is Leicester versus Chelsea, kicking off the return of the Premier League at the King Power Stadium. Ed, hit us with those stats.
So in the last 5 meetings between Leicester and Chelsea, we've got 2 wins for Leicester, 2 wins for Chelsea, and a draw. And the form for Leicester is a bit up and down. So we've got a couple of draws, a couple of wins and a loss. But Chelsea are on a roll of 5 unbeaten. And if we look at the XG, and for those that don't know, XG is the expected goals. So this is what the boffins, the nerds, think could potentially happen in the game. So Leicester are predicted to score 1.62 goals and Chelsea 1.71. So the game in itself is averaging around 2.5 goals, which means that they're expecting, those guys that crunch the numbers are expecting both teams to score.
I'll kick myself out. Sorry, that's not how I was meant to work this. See, I'm still a rookie in this game. But Ed, thank you for hitting us with those stats. Guys, the team news, the early team news, we haven't heard from the press conferences yet because of, it is Thursday. I would be usually doing this on a Friday, but because it's my birthday on Saturday, I'm doing a little bit of a birthday celebration tomorrow. So, yeah, in terms of the team news that we have already, Youri Tielemans will miss the game against Chelsea, which is big. So, Grace, it is big news. So, Grace, you can stay a little bit calm there. That might ease your nerves and your worries. Big miss, and he's actually due to be ruled out until Christmas. So, he's going to miss quite a few games there, Youri Tielemans. Leicester will also be without Wesley Fofana, Michael Brighton, and James Justin, who are ruled out, but said to be progressing, which is good to hear for Fofana and Justin in particular, having missed Wesley Fofana picking up their horrific injury in pre-season, and James Justin picking up that horrific knee injury last season after he had a very good start. So if Leicester fans, and as a football fan in general, I'm hoping that James Justin returns and reaches those levels sooner than we think, and hopefully gets there at whatever rate he does. But for Chelsea and Grace, this one right here, these pieces of news might help you ease those worries even more. Chelsea could welcome Romelu Lukaku and Timo Werner back into the first team squad. Don't expect them to start. I'll be surprised if both of them start. I wouldn't. If one, do you know what? I'm expecting one of them to both be on the bench, but it wouldn't surprise me if Lukaku started or Timo Werner. So one of them, but not both. So that's quite good news for you. So they'll both be in the squad by the looks of it. Kai Havertz, Mason Mount, and Marcus Alonso are also expected to be back in contention. But the game could come too soon for Mateo Kovacic, who was out with a thigh injury. So with that team news, Ed, that I've given you right there, does that impact your predictions? Because for me, it would. So what's your thoughts?
My first thought is Tielemans is in my FPL team, so I need to sort that out.
Oh, man.
I didn't know that. So this is another good reason for the preview show being early. I think my prediction was a Leicester-Chelsea win before I heard about the Tielemans injury. Was Chelsea to win. And I think that team news, I think that strengthened. I think Chelsea have got some players coming back, and Mason Mount, Havertz being available. It's big. So my prediction was 2-1 to Chelsea beforehand, and I think I'm a bit even more confident now. And big up Paxton, as always, putting his not just the score, but always going for the scorers. Love that.
Yeah, definitely, man.
And Grace, give us an actual score.
Go on, Grace, give us a score. I know you don't like to do it, especially when it's
just one.
Chelsea. Just the one. Yeah, we have to go with one. Edmund's on there today. He's keeping the scores in. And Mama G, I can see you over there as well. Make sure, get your scores in. It's your team. Well, the team that I adopt to you. My mum always loved Didier Drogba, as she liked to call me. But so, yeah, I'm going to go with, I would like a draw because it's Chelsea and Leicester not picking up points too, but I think Chelsea will pick up the win in this one, having drawn their last game against Burnley, which Thomas Tuchel came out and was right in what he was saying, that they did not deserve to lose that. I mean, well, not lose. It felt like a loss, but they did not deserve to draw that, and it was very lucky. They did have chances that weren't taken, and then one chance for Burnley. And, Ed's nemesis once again coming to rise and show. So, yeah, I'm going to go with a Chelsea win, and I'm going to go with a 2-0 win because they're defensively solid. They can do, if we can do it at Leicester, I'm sure they can. You know what I mean? So, and with Tielemans missing, yeah, I think it'll be a big result. Hopefully, I'm hoping a draw, but 2-0 win I've gone for. So
in the comments, I think everyone's going for, we've got a draw for a win, a Chelsea win, and Will Fear's the only one so far that's going for a 2-1 to Leicester.
I hope you're right. I know your feelings, your thoughts and feelings on Chelsea, Will, from seeing it in the last game. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, definitely. Look at know-how, going with a 3-1 Chelsea dub too. Interesting right there. So, yeah, we will move on into the next game. And the next game is the title of this video, and he's in the thumbnail. Aston Villa versus Brighton at Villa Park. Why is this a big game? Steven Gerrard's first game as a Premier League manager. Steven Gerrard, welcome back to the Premier League. Coming up away again, at home against a very dangerous team in Brighton. Ed, hit us away with the facts and figures for this one. I think it'll be important.
Yeah, so in the last 5 meetings between these two teams, we've got 2 draws, a loss for Villa, and then 2 wins, but they were a good couple of seasons ago now. The form, Villa lost the last 5, obviously a big reason for why Dean Smith left. And Brighton, they've, and sorry to the Crystal Palace fans watching, but I will say their name, Brighton. They've got 4 draws and a loss in the last 5 games. And again, doing the numbers, slightly lower than the Leicester-Chelsea. So Villa are due to score 1.19, and slightly below them, which I find surprising, is Brighton and Hove Albion, who are predicted at 1.15. So that means in the game, the XG is coming out at 2.7. So again, expecting both teams to score and for this to be a 2 or 3 goal game.
Interesting, right there. Let me bring myself back into this. Let's go. No, off the solo layout. That's how I do it. I'm still getting to grips with this. In terms of team news, I'm not really seeing any for Villa so far. But from what I know of, from watching the international break, Leon Bailey, I imagine that he could make his first start for a while, if I'm correct. I know he came on against Arsenal. He came off the bench. But with that new manager, we could see it's going to be difficult to really understand what team that Gerrard's going to go for, because it's a fresh start for a lot of these players. We know with Dean Smith, he was playing that 5 at the back with a 3 at the back a lot. With Steven Gerrard, he may be in that teething period where he'll be trying out a lot of players, seeing how that's going to happen and seeing how he's going to cope with that. But with Brighton, I can give you some team news there. Obviously, Robert Sanchez is suspended, which is quite big, because in terms of FPL, he's a lot of FPL people goalkeepers because he's that cheap pick. With that Brighton defence, keeping a lot of clean sheets, well, hoping that they did, but not really come to fruition so far. And Enoch Wepu is injured too, so he's another one that will be missing. And in terms of that, yeah, those are the big injuries. Aaron Connolly has been training and he's recovered from a heel injury, so in terms of that, it's quite big news, I think. And, with that new manager bounce, that could play a part. However, Graham Potter, he's proven that he can do it with a good squad. I mean, with not a great squad, with not a plethora of players to pick from, not of the likes, not the same individual quality as Dean Smith had to at Villa, now Steven Gerrard. So, Ed, what is your predictions going into this game? Does that team news affect it as well?
Not really, because I think this is going to be about Stevie G, isn't it now? He won't have had that much time with the players, so that probably needs to be taken into consideration coming in during the international break. He may not have had as much time as he wanted. And it looks as though he's been linked with every single player that Rangers have for January. So my prediction, although it's not quite as big as that one there from Jay, who's going for a Villa 10-0 win, I wonder why. I've gone for a draw with this one. Looking at the stats, looking at the numbers like I do, that XG being 1.19 and 1.15 for both teams. You've got some draws in the history between these two teams, and Brighton had a very good start, but then in their last 5 games they've got 4 draws and a loss. Brighton away from home, you've got the Aston Villa home crowd under a new manager, and it's not just a new manager, it's Stevie G, it's a Premier League legend. So, yeah, I'm thinking it's a 1-1. A 1-1.
Yeah, well, Paxton is agreeing with you there. Exact same scoreline. He's gone for Buendia and Morpay. So, Paxton, you're really going to go for Buendia to revive really kickstart his Aston Villa career that didn't really go under Dean Smith. But, new manager bounce, it may work for him in this system. And, it just might be a better fit for the player. Let me have a look at what Creambone's saying there. Too early for Gerrard to impact Brighton 2-0. Rocking the red do-rag, by the way, team money. Come on, I have to represent. See, I nearly mixed up then. This is how I don't like the mirroring. I have to represent. I've got to do that Arsenal stream later on, so I've got to be representing us in the right way. I usually wear the hat, but do-rag today. Trim's looking mad.
What's your thoughts on Gerrard? Quickly.
My thoughts. Basically, with Steven Gerrard, it's always difficult. I'm a bit skeptical when it comes to ex-great players becoming managers. because I feel like with a lot of players, we've seen it with a lot of times. So with Thierry Henry, for example, not a great coach or a manager because he expects people to be. It's when it's like because if that's what you're used to, if you're used to being such a good technical footballer, that doesn't necessarily. It's like I'm explaining this in a roundabout way, but basically, the best students don't make the best teachers. So the best players don't automatically make the best managers. Yes, we've seen Zidane and he's had success in the Scottish League, but that's very. It was like when Brendan Rodgers was doing over there. It was only one team at that time. Cough, cough, Ollie, exactly. We've seen it with the likes of Zidane, who can manage well, and that's what it's all about for Steven Gerrard. That's the man management side because he's going to command that respect. But tactically, I don't have too much to go by because, Rangers again in that Scottish League. They conceded a lot of goals in the Europa League as well, people. So remember that. They were very good going forward, but conceding a lot of goals. And in the Premier League, if you do that, it's a recipe for disaster. So we're going to have to see a different side to Gerrard in this one. So I'm a bit skeptical. We're going to have to wait and see. I'm not going to say, if he doesn't hit the ground running, he's not going to be the one because, it's hard for managers to really imprint their style without even making the right signings. Look how long we've seen Arteta, for example. So for prediction, though, in this game, I think the injuries and the new manager bounce will impact this, and I'm going to go for a Villa win by 2-1. That's what I've gone for, 2-1. Bit of a not a fence one, but a safe scoreline. I'm trying to win this. I'm not trying to do no forfeits or anything like that. So yeah, I've gone with a 2-1 win.
And it's looking like the TTF are going for. I think we've got more Brighton wins than anything else. So they're going for an away win in this one as well.
Exactly, true. It's very true. Wait, what an Arsenal stream later? Should know something? It should be up on the channel as a link. I think it was created. Yes, I'm joining some Liverpool fans I've done a collaboration with on their channel, UFT, and 2 Liverpool fans and me and myself being an Arsenal fan, and Igal. You may have seen him. You may have seen him on Harry Streamwolf on the phone-ins. Yeah, he was in the last phone-in with you. I think he was in the same part as you as well. So yeah, we're going to be talking about that, really discussing Combined 11. So stay tuned for that one. So let me go back into here. And the next game we're going to talk about is Burnley versus Crystal Palace. Yes, we have a lot of Crystal Palace fans. Thank you, Rich. We have a good Crystal Palace contingency up on Tereak Talks, and that's what I like to see. This is what this channel's about. And we've got the Burnley hater himself, Ed. So this is going to be a big game here at Turf Moor. Interesting 3:00 kickoff as well. Ed, hit us with the stats for this one. So give us a bit more of an understanding.
So in the last 5 meetings between these two teams, the last 3 games have been won by Burnley, and the 2 before that were won by Crystal Palace. So there's no draws in the last 5 games. The form for the teams, Burnley is a draw, a win, a draw, a loss, and a draw. So 3 draws and 1 win, 1 loss. And Crystal Palace are on an unbeaten run. Sadly, they battered my team in the last Premier League fixture 2-0 against Wolves. And they're on the back of 2 wins and 3 draws. But surprisingly, the XG, again, the expected goals for this game, you've got Burnley at 1.34. And very, very surprisingly, considering they've won the last game 2-0, Crystal Palace is coming out at 0.84. Now, I don't know if that's taken into consideration how they play against Burnley and the last few games, which obviously they've lost. But the game is coming out at 2.6. So although the XG looks like it's just about over a goal each, the XG for the game is nearer 3 goals. So it's a bit all over the place with this one.
Yeah, there you go. It's an interesting matchup here. And I've gone with that in terms of my predictions. But in terms of team news, I don't have any for Burnley at this moment in time. But for Crystal Palace, like the away team that I do have again, is 3 players really. Will Hughes, who's yet to feature. He could be in the squad.
Didn't even know he was there.
Yeah, exactly. He missed. Tell me about it. A lot of people, if you're not a Crystal Palace fan, you wouldn't know because he got released from Watford because he had a falling out with Cisco Munoz at the time. But he was left out of the trip to Manchester City. because due to a hamstring injury, and that's what Football London reported. Nathan Ferguson, the signing from West Brom, still not ready to return after that big knee injury that he had, which he signed last season now. He signed in the summer of last season, so still yet to see him play. He's a good player, by the way, very strong defensively, someone with a good footballing IQ, very versatile, can play right back, centre back, and at left back as well. So that shows how good he is and how much of an understanding he has. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does return. And the big one, Abire Eze returned to under-23 football on Monday. So will we see him on the bench? Crystal Palace fans, you'll be hoping that he is. Even if he does return, you've still got to give him a lot of time to return back to sharpness, full fitness, and make sure that he try and prevent another injury happening as soon as possible. But you know what? Who knows? 2022 World Cup, if he can return, maybe he'll be knocking on the door for a place there. But, you know, with Croydon De Bruyne, that might be a bit more difficult. But my predictions for this game, with Sean Dyche being at home, I'm going to go... Do you know what? Obviously, Palace are the favourites, and a lot of neutrals will go for a Palace win, as well as Crystal Palace fans. But for me, I'm going to go with a draw, you know. I think it's going to be one of them games. I don't think Burnley is the best game to play after an international break, where players are coming in from different nations and will return at different fitness levels and energy levels. And performances tend to drop a bit, performance levels. You don't really hit the ground running after an international break. And Burnley are those type of teams that it don't matter for them. They don't have a lot of international players anyway. They keep that squad. So I know Benteke was playing for Belgium and he scored. So those type of players, it'll be difficult coming at and they're key players in the squad. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Another one playing it safe there. What about you, Ed? What are you going to go for?
Interesting that you said that Palace, you think they're the favourites, because the XG says that they're not, but I'd agree with you that they should be. Surprising. Yeah. I've also gone for a 1-1, so I've actually not just predicted Burnley to get some points, I've predicted them to score, which is the first of the three talks. So I'm still going to not say it's Chris Wood in the hope that it is Chris Wood in some way, but we've got Paxton. Paxton's gone for a Palace 3-1, and so has Wilf. And know-how here, I'm guessing he's backing a Burnley win or a draw. Not too sure. A Sean Dyche masterclass might be a draw. Not too sure. And obviously we've got Jay, the Palace fan, going for a 3-1 Palace. So it's all 3-1 Palace. We can definitely put that down.
Exactly. That's easy. Guys, if you are watching, we have 8 people watching. Get yours in the chat. Get your comments in, get your predictions, be brave. You might help the chat out here. And then if you do help the chat out, if you are new, there is going to be prizes for the winner, either if it's me, if it's Ed, or if it's you guys. So come on, get those in the chat. We'll be glad to see you. And you know what? We'd love it. So yeah. So we've got the predictions for that one. Let me bring you into the next game, which is another big one as well. It's Newcastle at home against Brentford. Eddie Howe's first game in charge. Yes, officially it is, because I just remember the drew against Brighton, but he wasn't in charge of that one. Eddie Howe's first game in charge. Ed, hit us with the stats on this one, because I know there's not going to be many in the Premier League. Well, whenever Brentford play everyone.
Quick quiz. How many times in the history of both of these teams, and they're both over 100 years old, how many times do you think they've played ever against each other?
Ever.
Guys in the chat, put some down. I'll tell you after we've done the...
Yeah, that's a perfect one. Yeah. I'll wait for you then. I'll let you hit them away with the stats. Hi, I think this is Mohammed. Nice to see you, Mohammed. Thank you for joining. I hope you're doing well, man. I was on the stream with him as well at some on Harry's stream. Hope you're doing good. And get your thoughts in the chat as well, man. But yeah, Ed, hit us away with the stats and figures.
Yeah, so for this one, obviously, as always, Brentford and Newcastle have never played each other in the Premier League. And in their 5 last visits, and I had to dig deep in the history books for these, we've got a win for Newcastle and 4 losses for Newcastle in this. And the form that they're going into, but again, don't read into those last 5 meetings. They are decades ago. So the form for Newcastle is 2 draws and 3 losses. And Brentford are on the back of 4 losses and only 1 win. And the XG, I think, overall is probably the worst for each of the teams in this one. So Newcastle averaging less than a goal at 0.93 and Brentford just over a goal at 1.12. But again, interestingly, like the Burnley Crystal Palace game, the XG for both teams and how they play against each other potentially is coming out at 3.1. So it's another one where the facts and figures seem to be skewed by the style of play rather than how many goals they've scored previously. So it's an interesting
again. Once again, before I go into the team news, Mohammed, I will be doing a review on Sunday, so you can come in that one. This one, I've just got to hurry up because I've got to jump in another stream. That's why. Appreciate that, though, man. And I will definitely do one with you on Sunday if that's all right, man. Mate, if that's okay with you, let me know. Get in the comments. But yes, sorry, man. I'm just in a bit of a rush. But in terms of the team news today, that we know, Ryan Fraser, a former player under Eddie Howe, may return as he pulled out of the Scotland squad with a calf problem. I think Eddie just went in to get to training earlier, but should be in contention to feature here. But Fraser's expected return will leave Paul Dummett as the only Newcastle absentee for this game. So that's interesting right there. For Brentford, Zanka lasted just 12 minutes of the defeat to Norwich after coming off with a muscle injury, whilst last season's match winner, Josh Da Silva, is still out with a long-term hip issue. That Josh Da Silva, by the way, former Arsenal player, he was my breakthrough player of the season for Brentford. We need to see him on the pitch before he can be that. Christopher Ajer is facing a few more weeks out, the Norwegian centre-back on the sidelines. Charlie Good is set to make his first Premier League start in front of Alvaro Fernandez, who is deputising for the injured David Raya. What we've seen in terms of their performances has been a massive impact for Brentford. And, any goalkeeper of that level, especially when you're a new team coming up, you're missing your first choice goalkeeper. Yeah, it's a massive difference. Mad Sorensen, Shannon Baptiste also occupy the spots in the treatment room alongside Johan Visa, who may has a slim chance of returning, whilst Matthias Jensen is out with a you-know-what. I can't say it on YouTube. But yes. So, people, in terms... Ed, you go ahead and you go with your prediction first.
So, yeah, I've gone probably reverting to type, going with the numbers. I'm going for a low scoring game, although the XG suggesting this might be a 3-goal thriller. I'm going for a 1-0 to Newcastle, just on the back of the new manager bounce. Newcastle at home. Brentford are on a stinky run of form. And with some of those players that you've got missing, especially David Raya, missing the goalkeeper, I'm going for it. Newcastle to sneak a 1. It could be 1 or 2, but I'm going for a 1-0 winners. That's what I'm putting down on paper to Newcastle. 1 for the Gooners.
Ooh. So a good start for Eddie Howe. What's your thoughts on Eddie Howe? I know you spoke about it in the grading, but for those who haven't seen it, let me know.
I think he's a good manager for where they are now. Long term, if the investment into Newcastle is as big as we think it's going to be. Bournemouth, they did all right in the Premier League for a few seasons, but got found out. Newcastle, with the money that they've got, what you're hoping for is all the jokes of, he doesn't buy the Dominic Solanke back and, get the Bournemouth band back together. I think he'll be fine. I think they'll be fine this year as well, which I think is a surprise for a lot of people. And I think some of the people they've been linked with in January might be that little boost that some January signings can be. And I see that there's at least 3 teams probably worse than Newcastle in the league anyway. And I think they had the worst manager in the league for me with Steve Bruce. They had the toxic atmosphere, the Mike Ashley thing going on. So I think there's going to be a new lease of life. Eddie Howe, he seems to be he's a player's coach, isn't he, as they say in the NBA. So I reckon that's going to be enough, I think, to keep them up this year. And then the big thing is how they spend their money.
Yeah, it's true. And what players are they able to attract, given the position that they're in? So yeah, I think that's a good point. And that's the comment I was just about to pull up, but you did it before me. Guess who's back? Casey's back. Nice to see you, Casey. Hope you keep him well. We haven't gotten to United yet, so you're coming in at perfect timing. But in terms of the Newcastle-Brentford game, a few games ago, I think this would have been quite easy to call. it would have been Brentford for me. But with the injuries, new manager bounce once again, I think it's big. Brentford losing to Norwich at home. That says a lot for me.
Yeah.
And that says the dire straits that they could be in with their squad, which was always the problem with Brentford coming into the Premier League. Very thin. Even the bench, when they had all their players fit at the start, well, not all of them, but a majority, it wasn't good enough. It certainly wasn't good enough. And Johan Visa, who was one of the good players who's coming off the bench, he's out as well. Missing two key players in the midfield, by the way, Matthias Jensen and Josh De Silva. Very important players in their promotion push. So it's got to be a Newcastle win for me. You went with 1-0. I'm going to go a bit further. I think they're going to blow it away. I'm going to say 3-1. It's a brave shout. It's a brave one, but you know what? I think new manager bounce. You know how St. James's Park can be. I think I'm going to go with a 3-1 win. I'm not as brave as Paxton and going for the goal scorers.
The TTF have gone for Paxton's gone for a 2-1, but the rest of the TTF, so Wilf, Know-How going here for goal, goal score draws. And so we'll go for a draw for that one from the TTF. And just that question there, we'll cover this off now. So how many times have Newcastle played Brentford in over the 100 years of football? We've had a few guesses, I think. We've had 2 from Know-How. I think Paxton said 4. Tereak, if you want a little hint, I'd go up a little bit more from that.
Okay. I'm gonna go.
Casey, get your guess in as well if you're still here, bud.
Casey, get your guess in. I'm gonna go 7. That's what I'm gonna go.
Okay. No, I think if you add them all up, they get to 13. So I think they played each other 12 times in over 120 years of football. Believe it or not, and they've only played it. Just Brentford, if you remember, Brentford were very, very low league for a long, long time. And Newcastle have always been second tier or top tier, up and down, haven't they? So they just don't play each other very much. So
it must have been like cup games, isn't it? Was the majority of them cup games?
Most of them were, yeah. I think the league games. I think we were going back to like the 50s when they last played each other, kind of thing. So finding that was harder than doing the rest of the stuff. Wilf there with the closest, I think, closest guess with 8.
Can you remember the last league game?
Not quite.
Sorry, Will. Can you remember? I'm joking. I'm only joking. I don't want to lose subscribers anymore, please. But let me go on into the next game right now, and that is Norwich versus Southampton. This is quite an interesting one as well, given the scenario, the situation with Norwich. Dean Smith been sacked by Aston Villa with a 1-0 loss to Southampton, hired by Norwich, and he's going to play Southampton in his first game. That's the first time that's ever happened in the Premier League, by the way. So that's going to be interesting. Ed, hit us away with the stats and figures for this game.
Yeah, I'll blitz through this one because it's probably the only talking point's really the Dean Smith angle with this. So the last 5 games, Norwich have lost the last 3, and then there's a draw and a win for Norwich in the interim seasons. And then the form for Norwich, obviously coming back off that win, but 2 draws and 2 losses as well in the last 5 games. And Southampton are 3 wins, a draw and a loss in their last 5 games. And the XG, Norwich just over 1.07, and Southampton slightly higher, but not by much, of 1.13. So again, the XG suggesting they're both going to score a goal. And the XG for the game is around 2.6. So again, both teams expected to score. However, I'm going for a surprise Norwich 1-0 as my guess.
Surprise Norwich 1-0. You see the viewers dip down as soon as you start to talk about this.
Exactly.
I understand. I won't spend too long, guys, but in terms of the team news, Norwich are without key players like Zimmerman, Hanley, Kabak, Byram, Bamidele and Todd Cantwell, so it makes their defence even worse. Billy Gilmore struggled for action, so he may get brought in by Dean Smith. Dean Smith likes those type of players. For Southampton, Jack Stevens is out. Nathan Redmond has recovered from the you-know-what. Adams is expected to join Che Adams in the front 2, meaning Armando Broja might have to accept a spot on the bench. For me, this one, because no Armando Broja, I think that would have been a big difference. Kind of. So I'm going to
no
go
one
with
ever.
a draw. Oh, no, yeah, exactly. I might eat my words if this man has a good career. But I'm going to go with a draw. I'm going to go with a low score. I'm going to go with a 0-0, you know. Yeah, Paxton said it right there. I think that's Paxton's first ever 0-0 predictions, by the way.
Yes, I think it might be. And we've got Grace going for a Southampton win, and then Wilf and Paxton both going
She's
for
gone with a
some
big
draws.
one as well.
She has.
Grace, she
Straight
really
in
gone for it. You don't rate. I'm just guessing she doesn't rate Dean Smith. What's Dean Smith done to you, Grace?
Probably slagged off Palmos. That's what's happened, isn't it?
That's what it is, exactly. It's in Palmo. But anyways, guys, if you don't know, it's a TTF joke. You stay around people to get used to them. But anyways, they're not funny. But I'll be back. Casey, this is your team we're going to move on into now. Watford versus Manchester United. Is this going to be the nail in Ollie's coffin? Is it? I don't know. That guy's a cat, man. He's got more than 9 lives. Yeah, Vicarage Road. Ed, hit us with the stats and figures for this one, for me and the TTF.
So in the last 5 meetings, Watford have lost 4, and in the middle of those, they've picked up 1 win. The form for Watford is exactly the same as the last 5 meetings: 4 losses and a win. And Man United's form, true to form at the moment, they're up and down. Sort of 3 losses, a win and a draw in there. The XG, Watford literally just above 1.01. Man United 1.62. And again, the XG for the game is a spot on 3. So the XG is expected with this game is that it'll probably be a 2-1 to one of the 2 teams if you go on the XG, which is exactly what I've gone for. I've gone for a Man United 2-1 win, and I don't think Ollie's coffin's not even been brought out by the Glazers yet, let alone nails being put in it. I don't think they're going to get rid of him anytime soon.
Wow, that's mad. Can you still see me? Because my connection said it's going a bit mad here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Let me know if you can't, because this. I'm being hit by Nippon's Wi-Fi again. But we're in the press conference on Thursday. Us and Tufan will need to be assessed, which is big for Watford. Christian Serralta is definitely out. Christian Kabasele, Ken Sema, and Bar Atebo also on the treatment table. Kuchka, who got a red card against Arsenal, he'll definitely be out for Watford. So missing quite a few players right there. But for Manchester United, Varane and Cavani will definitely miss out, who are key contributors to when they were in good form, and who have been contributors to why they've been in their down form because of their injury. While Paul Pogba, who would have missed the game regardless through suspension, is out until the new year. That's what we heard before. McTominay has recovered from illness, and Luke Shaw is also expected to be cleared to play. You know what? We'd Scott McTominay and Luke Shaw. We know what Ollie would have done. He'd have carried them if they had 1 leg and still expected them to play. So that's just exactly what he does. Rashford and Greenwood could provide support for Cristiano Ronaldo. But it looks like Solskjaer will stick with the 3-5-2 formation. I think they'll easily go for it. I think Watford are a poor side, by the way. Arsenal won by 1-0, but it should have been by more. If Aubameyang didn't have possibly the worst game ever from any player, then he would have been a totally different scoreline. Yeah, I'm going to go with the 2-0 Man United win. I even think they're going to keep a clean sheet in this one. So yeah, guys, what are you going for in the chat? What's the chat going for?
The TTF, I think, are saying that. Well, Know-how's going for Josh King to put Ollie to bed. But again, he hasn't put a prediction in. Paxton's going for a 2-1, same as me. And Moss is just catching up. Yes, Moss. XG is expected goals, so that's what the nerds think is going to happen in the game. And yes, we are doing predictions. This is the preview show.
Moss, get your predictions in. Basically, I'll let you know. I'll bring up on the screen now. You can get them in, and then you'll still be counted, Moss, and you may tip it over the edge. So we've got We've done Leicester versus Chelsea, Villa versus Brighton, Burnley. So we've got up until Watford, Man United. So from Leicester, Villa, Burnley, Newcastle, Norwich, Southampton. If you can get them in, I know you're quick on the keys. I know you're hot on them. So if you can get them sorted, man. But yeah, as Moss says, he goes by pure eye test. Stats are cool to have, though. I see you going. You know what, though, Moss? You can learn a lot through stats, and stats generally, whether we like it or not, they generally tend to be true. That's why, in some cases, some games are called anomalies because the stats and figures and usually go one way. And if you was a betting man, you should always look to the stats because that's how it usually goes for. But yeah, but I wouldn't do it because, as you said, the eye test and other things and other factors can change that. So into the next game, and it's your boys. I think this is the perfect one to have. Am I still here, Ed? This connection
yes, you are
a bit dodgy. Okay, it's Wolves versus West Ham at the Molineux. Ed, what I want you to do is I want you to present me with the facts and figures, and then also the Wolves team news from what you've last heard.
Okay, so in the last 5 meetings, West Ham are currently on a 2-match winning streak against us, and Wolves won the 3 previous. And the form, obviously, Wolves were on an unbeaten run of 6 until Crystal Palace put us to the sword a couple of weeks ago. So a loss, 3 wins and a draw. But West Ham are on the back of 4 wins on the trot with 1 loss 5 games ago. And the XG, heavily in favour of West Ham in this game. So Wolves 1.27. And the XG for West Ham is just under 2. So almost 2 goals are expected to score in the goal. The goals expected for the game, based on how the teams play, is 2.5 goals. With all that in mind, I'm saying this with my chest that Wolves are going to win. Going to upset West Ham. I'm thinking 2-0. But in terms of news for Wolves, I've not heard anything big coming out. So it's the usual people that we're missing that we know about. So Neto, Johnny, some big players. Yep. We've obviously also got the issue of Traore potentially not playing because of this contract issue, and Barcelona are sniffing around, but I don't know how they're going to afford him. So although I think most people in the chat seem to be saying West Ham, and I probably agree with them, I can't do it, and I probably should have put my Wolves top on for this bit.
Well, you did it for the game against Palace, and look how that played out.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, in terms of team news, yeah, you were spot on with those injuries. There's not anyone else that, unless returning from international break, someone returns with like injury or illness. But other than that, for West Ham, Bonner's out, who picked up that knee injury against Liverpool. He's out for quite a while as well. It wasn't. Well, people didn't think it would be as bad as it actually is because he walked off the pitch and he had another injury. Fornals is expected to overcome a knock. Craig Dawson should be coming in, and Mikel Antonio, who scored twice for Jamaica. Did you see that goal against USA, Ed?
Yeah.
Woo-hoo! Thank you, Moss. He sent the link into the Discord, yeah, and I literally just switched it on. Next thing you know, bang, I see that goal. I was like, wow. Just as I was falling asleep, thank you, Moss. I witnessed that live. What a strike, Mikel Antonio. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you go and check that out, people. But yeah, in terms of this game, not now. Stay. Yeah, in that little short period where we're going to be doing the turnover, you can watch it then. It won't be too long. But yeah, in terms of this game, West Ham are a special team. They are special. I think people need to take them seriously now, and I need to, because what did I kept predicting every week? After European football, they'll be poor. They went and beat Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? After Europa League draw away from home. So West Ham win, unfortunately, but I don't think it'd be something to be ashamed of at all. I don't think it will be. No, Hal, I see your comment. I'm going to go into that. But yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-1 West Ham win. I think it'll be close. If you do keep it close, and I think you might dominate possession. I think they're just a very good team in the counter-attack, West Ham. So, 2-1. 2-1 West Ham win. I'm hoping for a Wolves win because you know what? That'll uplift the city a bit more. I've got Wolves fans at work. That's why. But yes, know-how. You are right. Thank you for reminding me. And people, it says 3 days to go. It is the last day. Guys, the last day of this code, Tereak 20. Don't listen to that. It's not 3 more days. It is the last day. Go check it out, people. Manscaped.com to use code Tereak 20 for 20% off and free shipping on all products. I recommend the Lawnmower 4.0 with its advanced skin technology for you men out there, for whoever. Ladies may use it as well for grooming. There it is. One more day. Thank you, Ed, on the keys. He's hot on them keys. Please use it, people, if you are looking to get something for Christmas and to support the channel or anyway, go check that one out at manscaped.com. Guys, thank you very much to those people who have used it already. I'm very appreciative. Thank you so much. And do you know what? I hope that Manscaped will provide you with good birthday presents, Christmas presents, or just, treat yourself. So, yes, thank you for reminding me, and thank you for that one, Ed. So, into the next game. Let me get this up on the screen for you. Interesting. So, Ed, I want to hear your thoughts on this one because I'll talk about this in much more detail in the later stream. What have you got stats and figures for this one?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, hit the TTF fam away, and then give your prediction for this one. This one's
yeah.
Sorry.
So in the last 5 meetings, we've got 3 wins for Arsenal and 3 wins for Liverpool. So no draws in the last 5 games between these 2 teams. The form for Liverpool is obviously that surprise / not that so much of a surprise loss against West Ham. 2 draws and 2 wins. And Arsenal on the back of a 5-game unbeaten run with 3 wins and 2 draws. Now the XG I find very interesting for this one. So the XG, the expected goals, and Moss, for the record, I test over stats, but I do love my stats. 2.37 for Liverpool, so just over 2 goals. And Arsenal's, I don't know if you've seen the stats, T, but what would you suggest? Mm-hmm. What do you guess? Or do you know?
I'm just sorting out my D-rag. It was a bit too tight. It was giving me a headache. There we go. Sorry. But in terms of the stats, what I know is the last time we did win at Anfield in the Premier League was in the 2012-13 season.
Yeah.
Where Santi Cazorla scored the winner. Yep, he knows the big one. So I thought you was on about that game, but you know what? He's gone for it. Wilf, I want you to be back for that stream and give your predictions in there. So, yeah, for me, that was the last time Arsenal won in the Premier League. Actually, I was reminding some Arsenal fans this in another stream. We did beat them last season in the League Cup.
Yep.
On penalties. Ainsley Maitland-Niles doing up his little step once again. So, yeah, I'll go into a lot more detail, Ed. Well, thank you. And Liverpool 3, Arsenal 1. Salah, Brace, Jota, Saka. Sorry, T, but Liverpool just too dominant. We'll have to wait and see. The treat is I think that's what he's meant to say, isn't it? Treat, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the great, that's it, great. Sorry, great thing about the stat. Oh, yeah. Whoa, okay. Sorry. I'm not even reading that comment anymore after I've just seen that. Oh, no how. This isn't Man United, This isn't Manchester United. Oh, man. You got my backup know how. But, yeah, you gave your prediction, didn't you?
No, my prediction's exactly the same here as Paxton's. I've gone for a 3-1 Liverpool win, but I think it's going to be closer than that. But I think that they're just going to be slightly too dominant. Okay. But not as dominant as that. That's out there. That.
If you want to hear my thoughts, check into that stream later. Thank you, Ed. Thanks for that loss. But we'll go into the next game. Manchester City, the penultimate game of the weekend. Manchester City against Everton at the Etihad. I don't have much team news for this one because it is on Sunday, so this one won't even come out indefinitely until Friday. No. But I'll try and find some as Ed is giving you the stats and figures.
So, very easy. The last 5 meetings, Man City have won all 5 against Everton. The form for Man City, you could argue it's up and down for Man City in their standards currently, with 3 wins, a loss and a draw. And Everton's quite poor form. They've got 2 draws and 3 losses, including a really, really bad performance against Wolves on Monday night a couple of weeks ago that I think got a lot of Wolves fans probably a bit overhyped on how good we could or couldn't be. And the XG, just quickly for this game, because I know we're on the last 2 games. Yep. Man City, 2.27. And the XG for Everton, which is actually higher than the XG for Arsenal versus Liverpool, Everton is 1.37. And the expected goals for this game is 2.8 to just under 3 goals.
Wow. Everton with a higher XG. That says a lot, man. That says a lot about what the stats think of our chances in that game. But for Manchester City, I'm just reading on the Manchester Evening News. It's been a relatively positive break, although not without setbacks. Bernardo Silva and Jack Grealish have missed games with injury. Bernardo Silva didn't play in their final game, where they did fail to qualify after losing to Serbia. And Jack Grealish came back from England duty early because of an injury, which allowed the likes of Emile Smith-Rowe to get his first start. That's what I've got from Manchester City. So there will be a lot more news, because this is if you are watching this afterwards, it is on Thursday, the 18th of November. So there will be more news, more team news. But I'm going to go with my predictions for this one. I would go for a Manchester City win anyway. Yeah, I'm going to go similar to Paxton. I'm going to make it 3-0. I'm going to go 3-0 Man City to come back. They've just got a very good squad, so injuries don't really mean a lot unless they had a literal crisis. So yeah, 3-0 Manchester City, which is different to what everyone else has said in the chat. So yeah, what's yours?
I've gone for a 4-0. Everton were dreadful against Wolves. They made us look like Man City in the first half. So I just imagine what Man City are going to do to Everton if they come out anything like those last couple of games they've played. So
yeah, there you go. And is the next one, you know who it is. It's them lot versus Leeds. I don't even mean to click on that game. Don't want to go anywhere further than that. But Spurs versus Leeds at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Ed, what's the facts and figures for them lots and Leeds?
So we've got, in the last 5 meetings, we've got 2 losses for Spurs, 2 wins for them as well, and a draw. And their form, Spurs are on the back of a draw, 2 losses and 2 wins. And Leeds are on the back of 2 draws, a win, a loss, and then a win 5 games ago. And the XG, Spurs are at 1.08. which is very surprising with the Conte change, which is actually lower than the Leeds XG of 1.3. And it's another very safe XG guess, I think, of 2.5 for the game. So I think even the guys that rely on stats are hedging their bets a little bit for this one.
Yeah, exactly. In terms of this game, how I think it's going to go, don't have much team news once again. No. Harry Kane is in very good form. That's what I know. International form. 7 goals, was it? Because he scored 4 against San Marino, I forgot.
Yeah.
7 goals in 2 games for England, but however that is for England. Leeds have been poor this season. They even scraped a win against Norwich, and they didn't look that convincing to me.
No.
So, yeah, Antonio Conte's first Premier League game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Yeah, I'm going to go for a 3-1 win, unfortunately. And, Harry Kane, Heung-min Son to both score. In terms of Spurs, though, and realistically, I know I've got my Arsenal hat, do-rag and shirt on. But yeah, with Spurs, it's all about can they create chances in this game? Can Antonio Conte get them playing in that fluid system where they can create chances and hit teams on the counter? Because it still will be counter-attacking play. It still will be like that. So we'll have to wait and see. But I think they will in this game. How Leeds set up, it's just going to be perfect for them. Yeah. So with the likes of Heung-min Son, Harry Kane and Lucas Moura, I think he'll be a good shout in FPL, by the way, Lucas Moura. hold your thoughts on that. I think he could be like the next Pedro. Do you remember when Pedro had that really good season under Conte, Ed, when they won the league? Yeah, I think Lucas Moura could be that one, and he'll rely on him quite a lot. So yeah, 3-1 win. What are you going for, Ed?
I've gone for the same as Man City Everton. I've gone for a 4-0 Spurs win.
4-0,
I think
wow.
Harry Kane's picked up his toys, put them back in the pram because he now likes this manager. And the move to Man City is not going to happen anytime soon, thanks to Charlie. So I reckon he's going to put his toys back in the pram and give his best for Conte, and maybe try and nick the FA Cup or something. I think they're going to try now. And Conte, he won't suffer fools. So I've gone for, and I just think Leeds. I think the bubble might have burst for Bielsa. I don't want it to. I think the Premier League is better with Leeds in. Historical club. It's nice to have someone from Yorkshire. But I think the bubble might be bursting. Without Bamford, they don't have that pivot to work around. And I know Paxton's put him down for a goal. I think he's one of the players that's definitely not in for this week due to his injury.
Yeah, he has. And yeah, I think you are right with that one. So you see what Moss is sending for your boy, Raul? It'll be no good after that.
I know. Quickly, did you see that though? What Canada did? They played in Edmonton.
Oh yeah, with the dive on the back. Yeah, in the snow.
Played in Edmonton in like 4 foot snow, and obviously the Mexico team. They're not going to know that, are they? They clever.
Mexico, you don't get that in Mexico. But you know what though, Moss, you do get some of that in Wolverhampton. So I'm sure he's quite assimilated to that kind of cold weather now. Trust me. I don't know why I'm wearing a t-shirt here, but yeah. But guys, that wraps it up. That wraps up all the fixtures for this Premier League preview. Ed, thank you once again for coming on, and thank you for reminding me. One more day, people. This is brought to you by Manscaped. This is the last streamer you'll hear me be talking on. So, guys, if you want to go check it out. So, yes, at Manscaped, go check out the Lawnmower 4.0 or any other product on there for Christmas. You know, Christmas is coming around the corner, so it will be very much appreciated. And you know what? If it weren't for you guys, I'm just going to spend a little time just thanking you. If it weren't for you guys showing your love and support as always, Manscaped wouldn't be hitting me up. So I've just got to thank you so much because it's you. It is all you. And that's the reason why they are willing to work with the channel. So once again, thank you very much. And here's your flowers, Ed. Thank you so much for that. Always a pleasure. Thank you for your stats, predictions. I'm looking forward to going through them. And you know what we do? Me and Ed, we keep in touch. Guys, I do want to create a TTF Discord one day. We'll get that sorted when I get more time to work around it so we can have a proper chat. Because me and Ed, we do discuss over the weekend how the predictions are going. Well, Burnley once again. That's where the little Burnley joke was really stemming from. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Can't see the link for the next stream. Can you see, Ed?
I'm just checking now. No, I can't. But I could earlier.
Oh, is it? What have they done a different link or something?
I don't know. What's the other? Where else can we find it to? What?
Have a look on LFC Red Forever. That as well. It should be on mine. Sorry, people. We're just having a little look, making sure. Thank you for bringing that up, Wilf, because it's important. So,
yeah, it is there. I'm going to put it in the chat now.
Okay, brilliant. Yes, if you don't mind.
It's there. If you can copy that and pop that in. So Tereak's doing a Liverpool-Arsenal preview with some Liverpool fans. And guys, just one last plug for Manscaped. Tereak is doing a lot of work on this, and Manscaped have come to him. There's some cheap stuff on there, guys. If you can afford £5-6, smash that code in. It'll be less than £5. And all this means that he can bring you more content. And I'm bugging him every day with different ideas. So if you've got any ideas as well, put them in the comments after the stream. If you want an FPL thing, we can do an FPL 10-minute video. We can do lots of stuff, and I can do it with him if you want to see that as well. So, guys, keep supporting the channel, and thank you, TTF. You are loyal.
Well said, Ed. Well said. Thank you very much, TTF. Oh, yeah. You can make donations. If you don't want to do that, there is a donation link on my Twitch. I do stream up on Twitch as well. It is Tereak Talks on Twitch. The link is in the description. Any way that you want to support, thank you, Know-How. You have shown support very much so. So thank you for that. So, yes, people, I will wrap this one up here. The link is in the description for the next stream. It should be there. I'll get you, if you still can't find it. I think, by the way, you're saying cheers. I think you may have, but if you still can't, just message me in the Discord, and then we'll go, and then I'll try and get that sent over for you. Thank you very much, Ed. Once again, looking forward to the weekend.
Yeah, birthday celebrations.
Exactly, birthday celebrations. You'll be seeing me on my birthday, TTF. Don't you worry about that. Moss, apologies. I will not be doing a Leicester versus Arsenal one because I'm seeing T-Sheet and Ed. They're coming over, and a few people are in the morning. So my apologies for that. But I'll definitely will be bringing you the Liverpool game. So stay tuned there, guys. Have a good one. I'll see you on Saturday, and peace. Come on, Arsenal.